I have the ultimate solution to the dating and mating problems that some will fight and some will say it's a great thing, right? The Passport Bro and SYSBM movement were ahead of their time. We, because, the Passport Bro movement, a lot of guys who didn't travel, who are part of the Passport Bro movement, looked at a lot of guys who do travel, and we still see them have the mindset of an American man, right? Only a few people who go overseas and they're a mixture of different things. I watched a whole bunch of people who still have a Americanized mentality speak for Passport Bros. I only saw a few people who speak in a way where it makes a lot of sense. So this is a test this is a solution for both parties, right? Men already found the solution, right? That's why it's me. I'm going to date another culture, a culture of women. It don't matter what. You don't want to be a part of a culture where the women can't. You don't want to be a part of a culture where the women are trying to sell themselves to other races and they don't want to buy. That's how you know you don't have the greatest women, if they want to date out, but the men are not buying. And that's happening with the Passport Sis movement, right? Where the men are finding mates. Don't matter if they're being used. It don't matter if, some of them is going bad. Some of them. But at least they're finding people, right? But the men overseas don't want no part of none of these women. Most of these relationships last about maybe a month, 2 months, even lesser than that. They don't care if these women have money. So to counter to Scott's Galloway bullshit is that, why don't these successful women start traveling the world and dating men in other cultures that have money and success in their culture? And let's see if these women in America can convince men to come to America to give up all of their power, their advantages, their jobs, their success level, to come to America to date them. Because I can tell you for a fact, there's a lot of men that in America that would keep their status in America, back up a lot of things, but they completely cut their social, romantic ties to America and go to another country and completely go dark. If it doesn't work out, they just come back here. But I know a whole bunch of men who are willing to give up this culture. Then there are women, and that says a lot, because a lot of women, they lie to, they only can push this shit in America, that how good they are, how perfect they are, how men need to step up, because they're in America. They can't do that into another country where they meet men who has the same amount of money as successful with them and act like that. They can't. So to fix the problem, everybody needs to go date other different people. If you can't find who you want to find, go somewhere else. The women and the men. Difference is men got a head start, and the women are losing left and right. That's the only solution. Second solution, right? And we have to talk about the truths that we have going on. Women are a gateway to your culture and society on how the men are treated. So you have to look at the women in every culture, how they treat the men. How many L's do men take in this society? How many W's do men take in this society? What are the things that men do in this society? That's the differentiation between what country you can pick and what country you don't have to pick, right? Right? The women are the key, are the gateway to your culture and the society, on how you treat men and what they can get away with and what they can't get away with when they talk to men. Women are a key to how easy it is and how hard men have it. You go to a country, you see how the men are how men live, how men can do all this different stuff, right? This is the reason why American women and the women in the West are not popular to rich men in other countries. Cartel bosses don't come and take women here. Ultra rich men overseas don't come to America to to date women here. They don't. They don't. They know what it is. We got the lowest ranking women all over the world, or unless they're celebrities. Women get men to invest in their culture or not. So people always ask why men always talk about women. Women are the ones who can convince a man to invest into her culture. If she's white, Asian, Latino, if you want to be with somebody, you invest into their culture and then you get benefits from their culture. A lot of men have merged themselves in other people's culture and taught their culture to some of the girls, and you see the girls dancing to some hip hop music and the way they, you ever seen an Asian girl or Latino girl who looks plain, but when she with a black dude, she start having a little flavor and dancing a little bit more differently, and how she walks and how she talks with. That's how it. Even white women online talked about how they act different when they're with a guy, with a black guy, than they with a white guy, right? So the women convince the men to invest into a culture or community. It's not the other way around. And if nobody wants to invest in your community, then you have failing women. Test to see if you have the best women based off who will date them outside of their culture and race. So, no one never wants this test to happen.
Battery level is 90%.
Nobody wants this test to happen when it comes down to black women. Why don't we do a whole country test to see who will take on these women from other cultures and other races? Who will take them on, marry them, and try to and be around them? I bet you it's not a lot. White women, as I said, basically the selling point is your women. As a race of men, you have to understand that the way your race grows, the way you can learn many different things, is if you have different types of people that comes to your culture and date your women. White men took all types of things from black people based off the fact that they dated a couple black guys, or they had their race of women draw in a bunch of black men, and they took a lot of black ideas and black shows and black flavor and rap and the hip hop and all that. They understand that. They understand that their women, they might say it in publicly, but they like it privately because they like certain content, porn content, when it comes down to black men, right? So basically every society benefits off the fact that you have women that other men want. And if you have the right men that come to your country that want your women, you can grow with that group, and your whole country and your whole culture will grow and add it to a different culture, and you'll start having multiple things in your culture. That's how some of this music got mixed up. That's how some of the TV shows got mixed up. That's why you see some of the the collaborations between white men and Asian and black and Asian and all that is based off the women. So there's a reason why we talk about women, why women are important. Women are the ones who are able to convince men to do multiple things. They're the ones who draw in men. If you don't have the best women, you won't have the best results. If you don't have the best women, then your race will be left behind. If you can't create the best women, you won't have the best end results. No one wants to invest into a group of men if your women is bad. Why do you think that Asian guys get loans? I'm actually exposing the reason why black men get treated so bad. Why black men are not given all these different things and imaging and all this, because we don't have the best looking women. White men have the women that people like, Asian, Latino. Why do you think that there's an Asian to America pipeline? It's to the women. How about the Latino to America pipeline? The women. All these different factors is for the women. So then you look at black men, and we get treated so badly, and we get left behind because we have nothing that nobody else wants. They steal it, but they don't want the women. Even Indian men get a little bit of rub while white guys take their women. Take some of them, not all of them, right? So the dating solution is, don't listen to Scott Galloway. Don't listen to the anti-red pill guys. Don't listen to any of these guys. Test yourself in another market. Test yourself in that market, a different market, and see how much value you can bring to that different market. Don't matter if you're fat, ugly, small dick, whatever. Because I bet you 9 times out of 10, you will be able to produce something better than you produce here. And let's not kid ourselves when it comes down to it. And I want to be completely honest with a lot of people, passport bros and other people, right? We are taking advantage of a lot of different things that happen in overseas. The men treat their women like absolute garbage. They kill them. They take advantage of them. The women overseas are in the same position as the men in America. That's why we should be trying to find each other. They get treated like shit and we get treated like shit. They get ignored, we get ignored. Right? Now there's a lot of women who were part of the problem. Now they regret it. But they're alone. A lot of the women that were into feminism overseas, they're paying the ultimate price for what the female parents put them through. They would rather not deal with the feminism of their current culture. There's a lot of women in the 4B movement that a lot of these dumb idiot girls, people over here acting like they're talking about, they want to get married. That's why you see, I've seen a lot of Korean girls who used to be 4B. They're with black guys now. They're with white guys now. A lot of Asian guys have a lot of white European women now. There's a lot of Australian women who were feminists. They're going in Korea. There's a lot of feminist women who went to Africa. A lot of the women understood, in order to get away from this feminist bullshit, they had to leave. There's women out here right now that are sick and tired of people telling them what they want to hear, so they go somewhere else. I respect them more than I respect the women who stay here. See, the women who go somewhere, go to another country, they get the salary, they get the real reality. They get a reality check that nobody kisses your ass because you make more money. Nobody kisses your ass because you're wearing makeup. Nobody kisses your ass. The same women who are here talking about 4B, they're not going to go to Korea talking about 4B. They're not. There's not a Scott Galloway in Japan, India, Russia, China, nowhere. But we have to be honest. We're not the good guys. Passport bros are not really the good guys. We're the opportunists. We're the lesser evils in all this shit. But we are, to our pureness, is taking advantage of a situation just like everybody else took advantage of our situation. We're going into places and cultures where the women are getting treated 10 times bad, the same as us. The difference is that we're using our opportunities, some of us using our opportunities to produce positive results. See, there's a lot of countries that mass produce women who get just beat up. And if you look at the locations of some of these places where women are getting treated like crap, these are some passport locations. There's a reason why Sue Lee dates black guys and don't date Hung guys. She don't date her own race because they're abusive. But we have to be very honest when it comes down to some of the positions that we have. We're here to trade in the American women for somebody else. We're here to trade in the women who think they're better than us. Sometimes you gotta, the best fuck you is to basically don't show it, but live it. Alright? Show your results. Right? And every other country has, even the countries, third world countries, even some of the worst countries that have feminism in there, the women still, there's a lot of apologist women who don't want to be a part of this movement anymore. The women here, I'm gonna tell you this now. If you did a survey and you took all of the women, successful women, and told them that they put themselves out dating internationally, and then you ask women overseas, the feminist women overseas, would they date internationally? You'll see a rising of all the women overseas who believed in this feminist shit overseas. They'd be like, nope, I want to take it back. I don't want to be they don't want to be alone anymore. They made enough money in their lifetime. They don't want to do this anymore. So the biggest solution in life right now in dating isn't to listen to Scott, isn't to listen to Jordan Peterson, Super Sly, all these other idiots, the feminist women, because these women are not going to go. The women here who talk about men stepping up, they're not going to go to places where the men did step up. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. To prove that you did step up. If half of these women were gone and left the country, I bet you they wouldn't have nothing. The men will step up. But then most of us will go overseas. But I bet you 9 times out of 10 that most of the relationship that these women that stepped up and got all this money, they won't last more than 5 years. They won't last. They'll last less than 5 years. They'll be done. That's the real shit. The end result is putting something up to somebody's mirror. The successful women are not going overseas trying to date better men. They're trying to blame the unsuccessful men to try to tell them that they need to catch up where they at. But when the men, the lesser men become successful, they don't date these boss women. They go somewhere else. So the real solution is let everybody test their theories out on another culture.
Battery level is 95%.
Another culture, another race. And see if they're right and wrong. Let's see. Let's do a mismatch. This is the real solution to the the dating and marriage problem. You need to have women get onto a system where they can't do no fault divorce. Let's see how it works. When you take away their power. When you take away their power from them. Because their power lies in America. Let's see if they go somewhere else and see where their power at. I don't mind giving up my power because I don't have a lot of power in America. Do I have a lot of anonymity? Do I have a lot of unnotoriety? Yeah. So I will be giving that up because in America, in America, you can be all. In America, you can be a person in the crowd of 1,000. But in another country, if you're taller than everybody else, you're going to be the main one people look at. That is the heavy test when you go overseas. That's the heavy test when a lot of people say is what you do with your power when you're not the guy. When you're the guy that someone wants to use you for money, sex. How long would you stay in that circle of being the guy that all the women fantasize about, or to be the guy who everybody think has money? How long would you, how can you survive in that environment? With the women, can they go to a country that don't kiss their ass, that tell them that they're the greatest thing ever? They don't have a Scots Galloway in other countries. There's a reason why. There's a reason why a lot of these influencers are getting killed. Because nobody likes somebody who flosses in their faces that they have more money than you. People like humble people. They don't like people who brag. Because if other people are starving and you're putting it out there, of course, that's a lot of influencers, OnlyFans getting robbed. They're trying this American shit and they can't do it. In other places, you have to be humble. Even if you're the best, be humble. Everybody know you're the best, but there's no reason to keep putting it in people's faces that you're the best. So this is the big solution to the problem. Men already working it out to leave. Some men are building it up. Like myself, I have to wait till certain places get stable. There's certain places that I can't go anymore. Like DR, Colombia. No, those places are off limits now. I can't. The people are fucked up over there. The Poogies fucked it up. And Thailand is about to be a spot that I mark off too. When everything gets in order, then I'm done. I'm going to be traveling. But I can't leave half-ass. I'm not Jay Rollo. I'm not any of these other guys who needs fucking somebody to give me GoFundMe money and stuff. No, I want to do it on my own. Right? I want to make sure I got everything down from the culture to everything else. I want to take away more W's than I want to take away L's. That's the whole point. I'd rather somebody wait years before they travel and take 2 L's and have 18 W's than to have somebody go half cock and they have 18 L's and they have 2 W's. Because those L's mean you lost money and things happened.